We are back on Morning Drive. Gary Williams alongside Matt Adams and Jaime Diaz. And the PGA Tour announced that the resumption of play on their schedule will start in mid-June at that Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth at Colonial Country Club. It's going to be followed by the RBC Heritage. Now, that was originally canceled. It's now going to fill the slot that was occupied by the U.S. Open date, and the U.S. Open obviously now being pushed to the month of September. Now, a reminder, you can catch final round coverage of the 2016 RBC Heritage right here on Golf at 1:30 Eastern. So, every Saturday on Morning Drive, it's nice that we have our final drop. Little nugget of knowledge you might otherwise not have in your arsenal. So, Jaime, what do you have for us today?
Well, I'm going to go back to the inaugural tournament, the 1969 Heritage Classic, which was really a gathering of superstars. It started with Hilton Head Island starting to develop its place in the world and wanted a great golf course. And they asked Jack Nicklaus, who had never done a golf course, would you be willing to work on one? And he said, geez, I don't ever done it, but I know Pete Dye. And they teamed up, and this was Jack's apprenticeship, actually, and Pete would say later that Hilton Head kind of made his career. So that was a tremendous golf course. And then, of course, Arnold Palmer won the inaugural event in 1969. Again, late in his career, it was his 55th victory out of 62. So at that stage, he wasn't winning a lot, but it proved that he was a tremendous driver of the golf ball in the late stages of his career, because that was a really tight golf course, not necessarily the one that people would think of Arnold Palmer winning with his power style, but he'd become very accurate. And then the final superstar was Dan Jenkins for Sports Illustrated, writing a really tremendous story that highlighted all these confluences coming together, Jack, Pete Dye, Arnold, and really marked this place in history as a great golf tournament that would have a great future.
Jaime, I absolutely love that you started at the beginning with Jack Nicklaus and Pete Dye and Arnold Palmer, and how all of this confluence, as you said, came together perfectly at that time. I'm going to go even farther back. And Gary, try to define where the name Heritage comes from, why there's this connection between Scotland and the bagpipes and the tartan and the tournament. Well, it actually goes back to 1786. An ancient ship manifest that was coming to the Low Country had on it golf sticks and featheries. So golf may have come to these shores more than a century before anywhere else in the United States.
Wow. Great list of champions at RBC Heritage. 1982, Tom Watson won his 30th victory on the PGA Tour. His next one would be that U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. But I'm not going to focus on him. But Frank Connor, he lost a playoff to Watson in 1982. Frank Connor is one of three men in golf and tennis history to play in both the U.S. Open tennis tournament and the U.S. Open golf tournament. Ellsworth Vines and Pete Bostwick are the other two. Frank Connor, 65, 66, and 67. The U.S. Tennis Open finished tied for sixth in the 1981 U.S. Golf Open at Marion. He never won on the PGA Tour. Finished second on 4 different occasions. And it was a cold day that day. I was 15 years of age. I was there. It was the end of March of 1982. And Watson, wearing a toboggan hat, beat Frank Connor, the two-sport athlete. All right, that's it for us on this Saturday. Follow us on all of our social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to that YouTube channel for Golf Channel. We'll be back tomorrow. But for now, stay safe and be well. We'll see you on a championship Sunday, as we like to call it, on Morning Drive.